I'm Ray McKinstry, and I became president in the year 2007. Uh, I did 1 year because work kind of disallowed me to continue on as president because I was starting to travel a lot more with the company I worked for. I first became involved back in 1973. I had gotten out of the service in 72, December 72, and I started going to the Irish club with my father because then I was legal age to drink. Well, my father was from Ireland, my mother was from Scotland, and they came over here in 1948 and got married. So, like I said, I started going down to the club after I got out of service, and actually I met my wife Anne Marie about the same time, and then I became a member of the club in 1974. Back in 74, we got married in 74, and so my active time probably started about 75, 76. I was friends with Joe Cosgrove and Maureen Cosgrove, and I got involved with the parade committee back in that time. Billy O'Connor was a good friend of my father's, and he was involved with, he was general chairman of the parade committee back then. And so that's when I really started to become very active with the club. Well, because the parade spent a lot of all their meetings down at the club, kind of led on to some other things like the first Irish festival down in the club. John Gorman asked me to get involved with it, so I started with committee members for the festival. I did that from actually up until the time the festival was finished. And then I also got involved with the Ancient Order Hibernians. I was president of the AOH for a couple of years. Eileen McGee was president prior to me, and she wasn't going on for another year, so the nominating committee came to me and asked if I would run for president. And there was no one running against it, so I guess I was a shoo-in. It was pretty much going, making sure things could continue going the way they were going. I mean, there was nothing really agenda to improve anything or any of that, other than to just make sure everything ran the way they should run. I got involved with that through Mike Salata. Let's see, I believe it was Bob Harrington, and then Mary and Dennis McCarthy. I did that for a couple of years, and it was down at the club, and it used to travel to different establishments on a weekly basis. It was kind of like a league. There was probably about eight different places that we would go to. I believe we would go one night a week. They'd come to the club, we would go to their place, and off and on. Well, the activity that was down there made an awful lot of friends down there. One of the things with being president was you made and met even more friends doing it. The unfortunate thing is you couldn't please everybody, and but that's always the case. I always went off of what Billy O'Connor told me back when I was general chairman of the parade, and that was, if you please 51% of the people, I guess you're doing something good. We're both now lifetime members, but the thing is once we became members, our kids also got involved. My son Raymond and daughter Joanne. So pretty much anytime we were involved with something, they were involved with it also. When they were born, about 6 weeks later, they were both down at the club, and we were showing them off. That was their involvement, and like I said, anything that we got involved with, they pretty much got involved with it along with us. my daughter Joanne, she's now involved with the American Legion in Manchester.
Oh, very
So their
nice.
time is kind of, not as much time as they had when they were with us, when we were all there. So there is an AOH down here, but it's like a half hour, 45 minutes. So what I do is they have a golf tournament once a year, so I participate in that. But other than that, I belong to the Elks now down here, and then I also belong to the American Legion down here. And the Elks down here, they have a halfway to St. Patrick's Day, and then they'll have a St. Patrick's Day. Actually, it's coming up the 18th of March. We always had a good time with the festival, because we did the food tent. It was tough to do, but we had a good bunch of people that would work, and we always enjoyed ourselves. One way or another, we had fun. Like I said, other things that happened, we always enjoyed ourselves going down, after the parades and whatnot, because everybody would, always go back to the club afterwards and have a good time.